Yeah, so it's a 1961 C1. I think they didn't used to call them Stingrays initially, but they became the Stingrays. It's got a V8 5.4 litre engine in there. Bodywork's all fiberglass. And they're based, I believe, on the Austin Healey. And the guy was, I think he was in the US Air Force, and he was over here in the Second World War, saw all these nice British two-seater cars, and when he went back to designing cars in his day job, this is what he came up with. I remember seeing when I was 23, and I used to work in the city in London, and I remember just going there and to work one day on a Sunday actually, and there was one of these parked outside, and I just thought, okay, if I ever get the money, that's the car I'd like to buy myself. Well, it's somewhat limited. I mean, it's got a tachometer, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, battery gauge, oil. It does have one nice feature for when it's a hot day. You push that up and the little flap at the front goes up and the air comes through into the car.
All right, okay.
A bit like old Land Rovers used to have.
So it's not real aircon, it's just blowing air?
It's just blowing air from outside.
It's good, though,
Yeah, it's got
I see.
the Wonder Bar.
A lot of people are going to ask you, what's it feel like driving down the street in this?
It's gorgeous. It's funny, you kind of, people obviously look at you and then you're kind of, why are they looking? You go, well, actually it's the car, obviously, but you sometimes just forget. And the engine being a V8 makes a hell of a noise, which people love. And if you go to a show in California, we'd probably see half a dozen of them. I've never seen another one of these since when I was 23. I've never seen another one. So, you know, it's kind of nice for people to see something as unusual as that.
Any humorous stories with people that come up to you and
Not really.
try to get married to you?
No, I used to travel with my dog sitting in the passenger seat. It was this quite large dog, a Weimaraner,
Yeah.
and he used to travel around with me. So we got both well known for that. I mean, it would be nice if it had brakes that worked a bit better. Power steering would be extremely useful. But to look at, it's all good. And maybe not so thirsty. But, you know, they didn't care then, did they?
Why do you come along to a show like this?
Well, I live in Windsor, which helps. So it's not far for me to travel. But I just feel it's such a pretty car, and it just seems rude not to show it sometimes to people, because people love looking at lovely cars in the same way that I do. You know, if you had a gorgeous painting and you wouldn't stick it in a cupboard and leave it there, you know, you'd want people to see it. So it's a similar thing, I think. And I do feel a bit sad when this goes into storage in the winter, and I'll sometimes go to a storage facility and there'll be rows of beautiful cars that never move.
Never see the light of day? No.
I mean, half of them, the owners have never seen them. They just get them bought as a portfolio of investment cars, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to be one of those. I want it to be seen and driven.